Heyo! So it has been a while since I have worked on this particular challenge, or done this particular challenge, I should say. But the last time that I did this challenge, I'm pretty sure I drew something like normal, like it was just a portrait, which this is just a portrait, but it's a fantasy portrait, so it's a little different. Let me elaborate. The last time I did a portrait, it sort of mattered what colors went where, right? Because we're working with, natural skin tones. I guess it was okay if I did an unnatural hair color, but I was working on drawing normal portrait. I can't even remember if I've done this challenge before. I'm pretty sure that I have. And I'm pretty sure that when I did, I was going for really like normie core. But this time I was like, would it be fun if I tried to do a fantasy version of this piece? Like, well, not of this piece, but like of this challenge. So if I do that, fantasy skin tone, fantasy hair, doesn't matter. We could end up with a whole rainbow of colors by the end. Let's just see where we end up, because I thought it would be really, really fun. So starting off with the illustration itself, I used the symmetry tool because I'm sleepy. I have stuff to do, okay? I really need to get this piece out. This has been a horrible week. I have a terrible migraine right now as we speak. Things have been not good. So I've been trying to throw everything together and exist and function properly, and it's been a little something. It's not been grand, it's not been fun, it's not been slay. But I wanted this piece to slay. So I used a little symmetry tool. I wanted the angle to be slightly more dramatic than we ended up with, but I still think she's cute. I still think she's cute. Sleepy. So we got our piece together, right? We got our little doodle, we got our little drawing. I just realized I forgot something in it, but that's fine, that's whatever. It literally doesn't matter. So we got our illustration going. I thought she was cute. She was very simple because, again, I gotta bust her out, okay? And the thing that I was most excited about in general was the rendering anyway. So I wanted to get to the rendering as swiftly as possible. So I had a few ideas in mind when working on this character, because I had to in order to start where I wanted to start. Like, I had no idea where I was going to end up with as far as what colors went where at first. Oh, another thing, so I have the whole iPad right now on invert colors. So if you're wondering why I'm in light mode, I'm not, and it was hard for me too. I'm sorry. It was really bad, actually. But anyway, I also switched at first to the disc because on one hand, in my brain, I'm like, okay, I know my complementary colors. I know what goes where, and I don't know where they go on the circle. But then I put the circle on, and I freaked out. I was like, I don't know where anything is. This is so overwhelming. So I went back to the square, and even the square was a little bit of a struggle for me. Mostly because in my head, I'm like, okay, I know that, for example, if I want to use red, then I need to use green. Fun fact, psych, wrong. CMYK. Okay, if I want red, I needed to use, I think, a really, it's either the really bright green or the really bright blue, something like that. I was thinking RGB, okay? So you'll see where that ends me up later. You'll see why I get a little confused by that. But I had to pick a direction for where my first color was going to be, so I knew where to tap on the color wheel to try to get that color. It turns out, we'll see. We'll see. I start using yellow because I'm like, okay, what's opposite to yellow on the color wheel? Purple. Okay, so I'm in my head thinking we've got ourselves a deeper purple character, because I do know I'm using a quite bright yellow. And here is where our first bit of issue comes in, and that is rendering shading for a pastel and or medium toned character when it's inverted, because so much of the dang color square goes white. And I was like, okay, I know light means dark, because again, we're working in inverted, and if you don't know what inverted means, it means all of the colors are opposite, but also all of the values values are opposite as well. So if I want to do shadows, I need to be making highlights. If I want to do highlights, I need to be making shadows. It's all very lovely and confusing. So the thing is, so many of the shadows turn to white. And so I don't know how gray something is. I don't know how saturated something is. I don't know how light or dark something is. So I was having a really hard time picking a shade. But the shade that I had picked, I thought was a lovely, like, mid to pastel leaning. And we'll see, won't we? We'll see where we end up. So we start doing that. And then I get into rendering the hair. And I'm like, okay, she's cute. What color do I want to do for the hair? Okay. I decide to go with pink because I love purple and pink. They are analogous. I think they're beautiful, but also, thank the Lord, if I use green now to get the little pinky tone, then it'll be like a lemon lime situation for you guys while I work on completing this piece, so it won't be totally egregious with like an absolutely atrocious color palette before I finish. So it'll be all citrusy lemon lime adorableness. So I start rendering the hair, and fun fact, I already know what it looks like. I already know what it looks like by the end. I'm not going to say what colors anything turned out to be, but I will say I already touched on this, but rendering the hair was so much fun. I felt like I got so much more dimension value-wise. I'm not sure why. Because it's the same exact concept as rendering in regular, but for some reason rendering inverted was making me have such an easier time getting, again, a really nice dimension, really nice depth of value. So maybe that's a hack. I don't know. Maybe I'll start putting shadows where highlights go. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll start doing inverted. Maybe I'll start doing grayscale inverted and then I'll paint over it or something. I have no idea. But all I know is that by the time that I was finished with this, and especially after I flipped the filter off, she looked good. I was quite proud of her. I also really liked the color that we ended up with. But again, I'm not going to say what it is. And then we jump over to the eyes or whatever it is that I'm currently working on because I can't see it. I don't know. I'm rendering in my mind. I'm rendering in my mind palace. I'm trying to recall what I did 2 days ago. I'm pretty sure it's the eyes. I wanted those to be yellow because I think purple and yellow go together very well. I think it's very cute. The eyes were very difficult for me. Because remembering, okay, the whites of the eyes need to be dark, but then also knowing that the way that I do I'm stupid. Hold on, pause. Because the way that I do eyes, usually I will just select the skin tone and then I'll desaturate it and lighten it just a bit, but for some reason I didn't do that for this piece. For some reason I was like very particular about what color I wanted the undertone of the eyes to be. The whites of the eyes? Why did I do that? Why did I do that? That was my bad on my part. I really struggled with trying to get the stupid undertone for the whites of the eyes. Did that. Easy, whatever. Rendering the actual eye, little more difficult again because of the same thing that made rendering the skin difficult, which was just the big block of white on the color wheel. For some reason it wasn't very difficult with the hair, but with everything else I was struggling. We was not balling. It was hard. So I finished that, and then I did the multiply, I did the shadow on the eyes, and I was like, she's looking crazy. Let's rush through the rest of these details. I decided on a baby blue for the shirt, which meant that I needed to do like an orange-ish type of color. So I tried that, and then I did like little small details like highlights and stuff like that, which again I was like are obviously going to be green because I want to do like little pink highlight on the little light purple skin. And then I remembered a very last minute this star thing that I wanted to do on her face because I thought it would be really cool like makeup wise if it was like an outline and then like faded out like very dramatic. I thought it would be slay. Is it slay? Let me know. do you rock with her? Blushing was hard too, actually, trying to pick a good color that would show up nicely and also hopefully complement the final skin tone. That was hard, and I don't know if I succeeded. In either stage, we'll see. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the actual challenge aspect. Here is what we are working with right now, and let me send y'all over to the finished version. Okay, so first of all, never mind the fact that we are quite obviously in my car. Okay, I'm busy today. I'm on the move. I have things that I am doing, but anyways, the only way that I can think to show you guys what this looks like without like spoiling it for myself also is I merged everything all onto one layer, and I am going to go to, how do I do this? I merged everything to one layer, so I'm gonna do this, and then I think if I do invert, it will show us the actual colors. Oh my god. Okay, so this is not, I mean, it's close. Here, hold on. Let me turn off the background. She's cute. She's cute. She's cute. It is similar to what I was going for. Some of the colors are definitely correct. Others are questionable. Not quite what I was going for, but I love her. I love her. I'm gonna zoom in on all of the details. And one thing I have to say is I think working in inverted colors, I might have already said this in the voiceover, I'm not sure. But I really think working in inverted colors helped me a lot with getting more contrast than normal. For what I have for my illustrations, normally I go like, you know, the colors that I choose are pretty close together. But like I can see in the hair and in the skin and the shading, she's got some dimension to her. And I am obsessed. I'm obsessed. I love her so much. I might go back in and edit just a few of the things, particularly probably her eyes, maybe the inside of her mouth, just so that they're like the correct value that I was going for, and still post her because, oh, she's gone. She's gone. I'm obsessed with her. I love it. I'm gonna put a full image up on screen for you guys here in a little bit. But that is pretty much it for this video, you guys. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for sticking around and putting up with all of the chaos that is sure to come for the next couple of weeks while I get settled into all of the chaos that is occurring around me. Oh my god, can she stay on screen, please? Anyways, thank you to all my patrons on screen. I love you guys so much. If you're still watching this video, why? Subscribe. I love y'all so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.